Don't forget, ko-fi.com/stopwritingalone is a real simple way to show your support for what's going on here week after week. Hi, everyone. This is Nicole Rivera, and this is the Stop Writing Alone podcast for writers who are looking for their writing community. I know you want to find readers for your work, but I think your first step is to connect with other writers. That's what we're going to do here at the Stop Writing Alone podcast. We'll do writing prompts and other writing group activities, discover online writing communities, learn how to find local writing groups, or how to make your own. Join us as we explore, learn, and write. Support for the Stop Writing Alone podcast is brought to you by Kim, the Coloring Book Coach. Did you know you can heal your heart and more through coloring and the other fun services Kim offers as a Reiki healer and intuitive? Visit thecoloringbookcoach.com now for your free coloring book and save 15% on any service when you use the code STOPWritingAlone15 in the booking notes when you make your appointment at thecoloringbookcoach.com. That's Stop Writing Alone 15 at thecoloringbookcoach.com. Hi, everybody. This is Nicole Rivera, and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast. I love conventions, whether it's a book convention like BookCon that I've gone to a number of years and have covered for Stop Writing Alone podcast, or New York ComicCon that my husband and I and now our son go to every single year when it comes to the Javits Center. But one convention that has been on our family bucket list forever is the San Diego Comic-Con. And we haven't gone because it's not local. And getting tickets is already a very difficult to get in the first place. And then getting tickets and planning the trip to San Diego, all the things, right? So it just hasn't happened for us yet. But we've been saying, no, we're really, really going to make this happen. Well, universe has conspired, and this year, ladies and gentlemen, we are, in a way, going to San Diego Comic-Con, which started this Wednesday, July 22nd. And the reason that we're able to, quote-unquote, go to this year's SDCC is because everyone can go. The official San Diego Comic-Con was, of course, canceled due to COVID-19 and just, concerns about having such a large gathering going on. However, the creators and the showrunners of San Diego Comic-Con have created a virtual convention. So it's not exactly the same. Of course, we're not going to see the great big exhibitor floor where all things are on display, and there won't be, loads of people dressed in cosplay to entertain us. However, if you go to the San Diego Comic Convention YouTube channel, you will see coming out over the next few days panel after panel after panel that some have been previously recorded. In fact, I think they might have all been previously recorded, but they're all being released at certain times, just as if we were all at the convention, so that you can sort of run your weekend as if you're going from panel to panel. I have a list now of panels that are of interest to me that I plan on going to. So let me first make an argument as to why I think this is something you too should take advantage of. Conventions in their, first iteration are created for the professionals within the field. When we look and discuss comic book conventions, we're talking about a number of entertainment professionals. We're talking about, of course, writers, artists, writers for film and television as well, and just basic literary guests that are writers of prose books also attend comic book conventions. So what is happening in these panels, if you're not familiar, if you haven't been to one of these conventions, is that many of them are designed to speak to those professionals. When I say that I have a list of panels here that are of interest to me, it's not just because I am a fan of certain things that are also going on at Comic-Con. It is because many of the panels are created for writers. So we're looking at panels that are about the craft of writing, and that's the craft of writing within a novel form. If you want to write for television, if you want to write for film, if you want to write for video games. They even have a couple of panels for tabletop game creation, if that's something of interest to you. And of course, if you want to write comics, manga, webcomics, all of these different forms of writing are being addressed in various panels over the weekend. Now, you can attack this in any number of ways. You can search through the list of offerings and seek out the panels that speak directly to the type of writing that you do. Or you can do like I do and recognize that the discussions that are going to be happening in all of these different types of panels all center around the essential nugget of storytelling, which is a thing that is a common language between all of these mediums and something that we can learn from in any single one of these conversations. So that is number one. Anything on craft, talking about storytelling, no matter the medium, I've got jotted down here on my list of things that I may tap into. The other sort of offerings that they have are specific to life as a creative. And, there's one panel here about finance for creatives. There's a couple of panels that are discussing, how to create in a time like this pandemic, how to create, full-time types of creative outputs when you have a part-time schedule that you're working with. There's so many different things just about the life of a creative. And again, sometimes they're speaking specifically to writers, and sometimes they're just talking to any of the arts, but it all applies to us. And then there's the aspect of getting your work out there. Once you have created, you've found the time, you've lived your creative life, you've done the work, and now like what? So there are panels on how to get your work in front of, to get news coverage for it, where the buzz comes from for certain books, and any number of things that can help you market, network, and on from there. And then there is all of the buzz within the industry itself. So there's a panel from Simon & Schuster where they talk about the books that they are most excited about that are coming out next. I love these panels. There's actually one from Random House, also a book buzz. These panels happen also in BookCon, of course. I mean, they're all over BookCon. Every publishing house does their own. But what you learn when you go into these panels are the things that publishing companies do get excited about. And then they talk about why they're excited about them. And you can get a little hint of, what are the types of things that I'm writing that I want to make sure I highlight when I query these people or when I reach out and try to market my own book, because these are the things that really build the buzz. So those are all of the types of things that are happening at this convention, and really like all conventions. But this is free. This is available to you on YouTube. If you go to the YouTube channel, they have, and I'll put the links in the show notes for the YouTube channel, but also for the program, so that you can sort of filter through and see what it is that you might want to go see. But if you go straight to the YouTube channel, I noticed that they have separated it into playlists so that you can see like what happened on Wednesday, and so far that's all that's up right now. And then, as Thursday goes along, like I said, they're releasing them on a schedule. You start to see more videos go up, and you can, attend the convention day by day. It's really a wonderful opportunity for just a free education in so many different aspects of this field that, you love. You're here, you're listening to Stop Writing Alone. You are writing. You want to be in this conversation. Here's your chance. So I'm just going to read for you the titles of a couple of panels for each day that sort of like popped out to me that are like, I think, pretty valuable to writers. And some may speak to you, some may not. I have them all here so that I can just go find them when they become available. So for Thursday, and this would be July 23rd, 2020, there's an 11 a.m. Panel. Holly Weird Science, Creativity, Correctness, and Collaboration. This is a group of science fiction writers, and I believe there's even a couple of PhDs on the panel talking about how to get science right in your writing. If you are writing or thinking about writing science fiction, this is a well-spent hour of your time. Put it on in the background while you're doing something else. You're folding laundry, let this bad boy play and see what nuggets of information you pick up. Honestly, for most of these, it won't be background stuff for me. It'll be like playing with notebook in hand, and it's ridiculous how I get with these panels. But I'm just saying, you can really let these happen to you whatever way you want. All right, let's just continue. Also at 11 a.m. And again, all of these are recorded on the YouTube channel, so it doesn't matter. This is the awesome part, right? When you go to an actual convention, you've got to make the choice. If two things are happening at 11 a.m., you can't see both. But this year we can, because everything's on the YouTube channel. It's awesome. So also at 11 a.m. is Webcomics, Saving the Entertainment Industry 4 panels at a time. Now, I don't know how many people out there that are listening to this podcast are webcomics writers, but I know that there are writers that make webcomics or are thinking about it. So that's an awesome opportunity for you. Comics during the clampdown, creativity in the time of COVID. I know you hear the word comics and you're saying, I don't write comics, but do you not want to hear the conversation about creativity in the time of COVID? It's going to have overlap for writers and creatives of all types. From script to screen, behind the scenes of your favorite films and TV shows. Again, if you're thinking about writing for television or film, or you're just interested in story, something like this is of interest to me, even though I am not necessarily thinking about writing scripts right now. But it's interesting to me because chances are they're going to talk about a television show or a film that I'm familiar with and really break down how the storytelling happened, what choices were made. And so when we're working with a context that I'm familiar with, it's an easier lesson for me, right, to then apply to my own writing. Also on Thursday, how every epic fantasy can be epically different. So, I mean, they're just looking at fantasy writing. Of course, I should have said this from the top, and I may have said it and forgotten. When you're at Comic-Con, this is, almost like a no-brainer for our fantasy writers and our sci-fi writers. There's going to be so much stuff that applies to those genres here. So, and you'll probably hear that come up a couple of times. At 2 p.m. on Thursday, they have How to Build a Girls Squad. This is a panel talking about how, like many of us, me, this applies to me, grew up in what they call the Smurfette generation, where we had the one girl amidst a whole bunch of guys in a cast of characters in our stories. And it's saying, well, we're over that now. It's time that we have more girl squads in our stories, but how do we write them authentically? How do we create them authentically? Artist as a brand, rise of an artist entrepreneur. It is my strong belief that every writer is an entrepreneur. You are selling your own books, whether you get a deal with a publisher or you are indie publishing, it doesn't matter. You still have to do your own marketing. So anytime you can tap into some sort of education about being an entrepreneur. And what I love about this panel is that it's an artist entrepreneur, which is different than someone who may be selling and creating, a product to sell in retail. I think that's going to be a valuable panel. Brandon Sanderson Spotlight. So this is actually with the author, Brandon Sanderson. Anytime an author is, it's all about them, I try to tap in because they're going to be talking about process, and that's fantastic. If you're interested in manga, there's a How to Write and Create Manga. The League of Extraordinary Scientists and Engineers, more science in your fiction. Again, this is another one, really making sure that your science is on par. That's at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And also at 6 p.m. on Thursday, The Most Dangerous Women at ComicCon. This is really just talking about the various female tropes and stories, how we need to be writing women more authentically and being careful of the various stereotypes or whatever that we may be promoting in our creations. So that's a really, really good one. All right, on to Friday. And believe me, I'm not even reading my whole list at this point. This is a great one. At 1 p.m. on Friday, From Idea to Hired. So this is, it actually said in the description, this is speaking to writers and creators. How do you go from this idea I have for a story to actually selling it, getting out there, or working for a company that is going to publish your story? And actually, I skipped over this one, but I shouldn't. At 10 a.m., Pixel Stories, Reimagining Video Game Narrative. Again, another storytelling panel. At 2 p.m. on Friday, Your Secret Weapon, How Friendship Saves the Day. A whole panel on writing authentic and really good friendships. I mean, you guys know, like, YA is my heart, and that's what I love to write. So, of course, friendships is a huge aspect of what I write. So I have a double star on that one. At 3 p.m., Galaxy Girls, or the female and non-binary authors who bridge the new frontier of space fiction. Again, I have double stars because this is a panel with authors. I almost never miss an author panel if I can. And so then at 4 p.m., again, there's fantasy and sci-fi authors. So it's just a panel of authors talking about their creations, how their process, whatever it is that the panelist, who's heading the panel is going to be asking them. Awesome stuff. For my fellow YA people out there, at 4 p.m., the title is Sinless, Fearless, Ruthless, a look at science and social science in a YA sci-fi book. Cool. All right, let's turn the page. Let's see what else. Let's move to Saturday. Saturday, if you're into writing magic, at 11 a.m., they have The Eye of Newt and Wool of Bat, the science behind magic potions and spells. And Saturday is when they have that panel I was telling you about earlier at 11, Finance for Creatives. Awesome. They had a whole bunch of stuff at 11 a.m. Also at 11 a.m. From Wakanda to Numbani, writing the next generation of heroes. This is crazy. I don't want to just read this list to you, but there's so many cool things. Let's see. If you've been struggling with, where we've been in these last couple of months and continuing with the pandemic, the coronavirus, they have a panel at 1 p.m. on Saturday called Creative Renaissance: How to Thrive When It's Hard to Survive. Really putting a spotlight on exactly where we're at now and how we could rise above it. Oh, Saturday, 3 p.m. Really, I think everybody should do this one. Saturday at 3 p.m., the name of the panel is Authors on the Best Advice I Ever Got. Don't you want to just see that right now? Isn't that just amazing? Is it just me? Or maybe it's just me. All right, Sunday, YA fantasy and the power of storytelling. Sunday was the day I felt like every other panel I was writing down a lot of stuff for specifically us, for writers, right? Not just comic book writers. So it starts there with the 10 a.m. YA fantasy and the power of storytelling. At 12 p.m., Women on the Dark Side. This was a whole bunch of female creatives. 1 p.m., if you're interested in writing for TV, it says writing for TV from first draft to getting staffed. So cool. At 2 p.m., there's an actual course, a 1-hour class. Don't tell your story, show it. Bring your notebook, definitely. Also at 2 p.m., but again, there's no conflict of interest here when it's on YouTube, the 4 quadrants of publishing. We're talking about the idea of traditional publishing versus indie publishing and all the different ways that, you can be published right now. 3 p.m. Sunday, how to create your novel from first idea to publishing and what you need to sell your work into TV and film. Obviously, they can't tell you everything in an hour, but wouldn't it be nice to just go to the Cliff Notes version? Here's another thing that you do with these panels. You go, you listen, you get the broad strokes picture. You take down the names of every person that's on the panel and you go seek them out online and see where else they're talking, what other tips they're giving. This is just a great, fantastic free resource for you. At 3 p.m. also is Making a Living Being a Creative. Fantastic. At 3 p.m., I'm really, really curious about this one. It's called The Writer's Journey: Developing a Producer's Mentality. And then for any of my creative nonfiction writers out there, at 4 p.m., Everyone's a Critic: Being a Journalist in an Online Age. And finally, at 4 p.m., Full-Time Creative Work on a Part-Time Schedule. That's a heck of a lot of stuff to watch, to absorb. I'm not suggesting that you try to tackle it all in one weekend. I just wanted to give you a sense. And look, I haven't even read the descriptions to you of what's going on in these panels, but I think a lot of those titles speak for themselves. It's free. It's waiting for you. It's all there right now. And, every single time you consider signing up for another course, or you're thinking about, should I get my MFA in writing? All of these various investments that we want to make in ourselves, which, when the time is right and when the investment is right, I say go for it, of course. But right now, this weekend, all of this is available to you for free. And many of these people are the people that would be teaching those courses and would be teaching and probably are teaching MFAs. I know I definitely saw at least 1 or 2 MFA professors in the descriptions here. So it's really not a thing to be missed. But you don't have to jam it all into one weekend. But don't forget about it. Really give yourself the time to at least see one of these panels this weekend. Just check one out. And the other thing is, if you start one and it's really not speaking to you, you stop, you move on to something else. It's fantastic. There was one other opportunity that I wanted to let you guys know about, because I completely forgot last week, and I really feel bad about that. But Tamara Woods, who I interviewed last year for Stop Writing Alone, you may remember, she's a cozy mystery writer. She lives out in Hawaii. She's got a great AuthorTube presence. So if you head over to her YouTube channel, she had an author retreat last weekend, and it's right there on her channel. So again, another amazing resource talking about various levels of marketing and writing, and all wonderful juicy stuff. Never mind that Tamara's been doing a whole bunch of write-ins on her YouTube channel during this Camp NaNoWriMo this month. So much going on over on her YouTube channel as well. So it's not that San Diego ComicCon is unique in this aspect of offering us these wonderful things for the awesome price of $0. It's just the newest thing happening right now. And you are going to get a load of industry professionals under one sort of big umbrella. And you can then say that you were there, you attended the 50th anniversary of San Diego ComicCon. Pretty cool. It's kind of historic in a lot of different weird ways. So I just wanted to share that with you this week, because I think it's an opportunity not to be missed. One other opportunity that you may have been missing, but I don't want you to miss again, is that I have been hosting Stop Writing Alone write-ins on Thursday afternoons. Well, at least afternoon on my time zone. It'll be Thursday at 1:30 p.m. We just do 1 hour of writing sprints, because I know a lot of people are participating in Camp NaNoWriMo. So we need the encouragement. We need the writing time. We need to stop writing alone. So it's a real easy way for us to write together, not feel so lonely, and motivate each other. It is fascinating to me every single time I do a write-in, how much more productive I am because of doing these bursts of writing, these 15-minute sprints of go, write, and then you come out and just say hi to everybody for a minute or two. How did it go? It went great. Okay, 15 minutes again, and then boom, a whole bunch of words again. It's great. So I'll be doing it today, if you're listening to this podcast when it goes live. Today is Thursday, and then also next week. I've not created the schedule for August yet, simply because there may be a family vacation during that time, so I have to make sure that that it can be done. I don't want to tell you I'm going to be there and then I won't be, but for at least the next 2 weeks, 1:30 p.m. on Thursday Eastern Time, the Zoom link is sent out to anyone who is subscribed to the Stop Writing Alone email list. And if you have not subscribed, if you head over to stopwritingalone.com, the pop-up will come up for you. It just asks you for your email address. You say that, and boom, it's there. If you miss that by this Thursday afternoon, I typically share the email on the Facebook page, so you can access the link there. And the link right now, I believe, is also in the Stop Writing Alone Instagram profile. So you shouldn't be able to miss it unless you miss it by time. I think that is all I have for you this week. There is so much to see and do, but I would love to hear back from you if you do go to any of the panels in San Diego ComicCon, what you get out of it. It would really be wonderful, especially if you find a panel that I didn't mention. I don't see how I'm going to even get to all the ones that I wrote down. So whatever you get to, let us know if it was valuable to you. This way I know it's like, well, I have to make that one a priority now and make sure that I go check it out. Yeah, that's it. Also, I think I mentioned that the Stop Writing Alone Happy Campers Club is going to be reading Story Genius by Laura Cron next month. So if that is a book you want to chat about, I will be diving in very soon. I can't wait to see. I don't have any experience with this book, but one of the members recommended it, and we did a whole vote on what book will we read next, and that was the one that won. So this is going to be, I love going into books blind. I love when somebody else picks my read and I get to fully experience it not knowing what's coming next. So this will be fun. Also remember that Fridays on my YouTube channel, which is NV Rivera, I am sharing writing prompts every single Friday, because I am working on writing 52 short stories in the 52 weeks of 2020. So if you want to join me and you want to see what prompt is up this week, just check out the page on Friday afternoon. Thank you, as always, for listening, for tuning in. If you haven't written a review for the Stop Writing Alone podcast and it is giving you some sort of value and you do enjoy it, I would really, really appreciate a review, a subscription, a share, all of the things. And that is all. Have a fantastic week. Happy writing. And I will talk to you soon. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Stop Writing Alone podcast wherever you're listening to this episode today. Then connect with us on Facebook at Stop Writing Alone Facebook page, or in the Stop Writing Alone with Nicole Rivera Facebook group. Check Instagram or Twitter, where I'm at NV_Rivera, to find links to our email newsletter. Happy writing. See you next week.